everybody, just calm down.
Girl, just calm down.
Well, we are the lovely podcast of Everybody Just Calm Down. I am your boy, Poderry.
And I'm Danielle.
And as you can see, we are missing Jared, obviously, because, he's anti-Black. He refuses to do the Black shows. But no, he's actually on vacation. He is in the rears. I've already sent his updated PTO.
Nothing, sweetie. When I saw a negative balance, I could have rolled.
Oh, yeah, he's definitely in the negatives, but it is what it is. But anywho, we are here to review Real Housewives of Atlanta Reunion Part 1. Let's get into it. So we started off with, which is really interesting, the girls are like gagged that Britt is not there.
You know what's so crazy? I thought that part was really interesting, that how shocked they were that she wasn't going to show up. I mean, isn't there always a possibility that a housewife will not show up to a reunion? Like, we've seen this before.
I wish.
And especially if they've done a lot of this season.
But no, with Britt, I just thought Britt was so delusional that she would have, came. Like, still to this day, when we've got the news, when Jared sits it in a group chat,
yeah,
I was legitimately gagged. I was gagged.
Yeah.
Like, I was gooped.
I think I was more shocked that they said her husband would be there. And I was like, well, what are you doing there?
Well, he's delusional. Of course he's gonna be there. But the girls are catching up behind the scenes when Porsha says that she took magnesium and was confused as to why she was like, so that's why I've been feeling the way I've been feeling. Porsha is so special and I love it. Like,
because girl, she was laid up on that couch like Weekend at Bernie's.
Hello.
It's like, what is she doing?
Girl, gags. But I will say this, when all the ladies were coming out, there's only one person that I will say that we dragged fashion-wise and her look, and then it completely changed for me seeing it in real life, and that was Drew. That was Drew for me.
Well, I was actually going to say Shamia.
Shamia too. Shamia looked great, actually.
Shamia looks great. Great. Drew, I still feel the same way.
Well, the dress, yes, but her glam, like Drew looked gorgeous. Like,
she has a really pretty face, though.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? She is really, and I feel like she's also one of those girls who still has a natural beauty about them. They don't need to wear an
100%
amount of makeup. Like, she can go with an earring and keep it in a good eyebrow and keep it moving in a lipstick, and she'd be fine.
Nah, facts. So Andy starts to intro the girls, and Andy asking Phaedra about how she felt about being at this reunion, saying, I know it can be tricky for you, took me out. And it's like, oh, she ain't never gonna be able to beat those that time in her life.
And well, and also that too, but I think the reason why also is that you remained on TV after said incident. So how could we forget?
She was gone for a good minute.
Yeah, but you were in the public eye. We didn't that's why you didn't completely go into hiding.
Yes, she did.
No, you didn't. Not that much.
Phaedra just got back. Yeah, she on Bravo. She was nowhere to be found.
No, on Bravo she was nowhere to be found. But we saw her out in these streets mingling with other people. So she was never MIA.
Yeah, but no one cares.
That's fair.
Like, even when we see her out and about, like, no one's like even out and about when people were hanging out with her after everything happened.
Mm-hmm.
If they're not in the Bravo lane, like, it really didn't matter.
That's
people
fair.
could just view it as a show. You're not going to question it until she's back on the platform or the network where it happened. And so that's why I feel like it's now just coming back up.
Okay, that's fair.
But then, so then Andy lets the girls know officially that Britt won't be there. And Kelli, I mean, I don't mean to jump ahead in terms of who I am going to say needs to calm down, but Kelli irritated me this whole episode. Kelli says she caused so much destruction in the friend group and says that Britt played victim and villain. How do you feel about that?
My pot and kettle. How dare you, number one. Again, we just spoke about this last week. And I don't even think it was regarding Atlanta. It maybe regarding another show. But stop trying to kick a girl down after y'all been friends. don't try to be negative now and try to air out secrets and trying to be funny now. No, y'all not cool no more. Just leave it as is. You trying to do all this extra like it was very well. I mean, it was weird, number one. But I also think too, she just contradicted herself a lot because I mean, girl, you were doing the same thing. You were with her. She was your partner in crime up until Phaedra's event.
I think that's such a good point. I didn't even think about it that way, but that's such a great point. Is that everything that Britt has to answer to, you have to answer to as well.
You actually were right. Everything she barked, you were an echo right there.
Yes, 100%.
Every last thing.
Right. And so Porsha says that she spoke to her and Britt did not allude to the fact that she wasn't coming. She even said that Mike was coming. And then here we go again. Yeah. Oh, why would Mike come? Mike didn't really have. Mike had a lot of fodder. Oh, you're talking about the fact that yes, I believe that she's talking to her.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe that. I believe that. But I will say this: when Shamia says, saying Britt did a lot of lying and she wanted to hold her accountable. Shamia, if there's anyone on this stage that is a liar that I would say lied a lot.
It was you.
It would have to be Shamia, dog. I'm sorry.
She did lie a lot. She did.
I'm sure Britt is a liar, but
yeah. Oh, she is a liar.
She didn't lie on you.
Yeah,
she didn't lie on you,
she
though.
didn't lie on you. I thought that was interesting too, because again, you had fake smoke for a person who wasn't sitting on the couch. Yeah, you had ample opportunity to eat Drew's ass up, who was sitting on the same side as you, and you never did it, unless we didn't see it yet. But from it already started. From even if we didn't get part 2 or part 3 yet, from that little bit of 45 minutes that we got, there was times that you could have ate Drew up and you did not. But you steady trying to come for Britt. What you trying to come for her for? She's not even here.
Drew says she also spoke to Britt a couple weeks ago, but it was about Britt possibly suing her. That was funny, and everybody was gagged about that. And then Andy goes on to congratulate the newbies on them being a great addition to the show. And I agree with that. I feel like the newbies were pretty good. Honestly, my least favorite newbie was Shamia. And that's including Britt. I'm saying that Shamia was worse to me than Britt. And that's because they had the opposite trajectory. It was literally
say, that's why we talked about that in the beginning.
We started off with loving Shamia, and then it
went. I mean, the decline
was steep.
It was very steep, and that character development, honey, not good.
Hello. And then it's just so crazy because with Britt, I won't go so far as to say we love Britt, but I will say that we definitely hated her less towards the end of the season. We hated her less,
100%.
Which is a lot.
And let's be real, everyone that we were kind of obsessed with in the beginning kind of turned. Because listen, we all know I wasn't a fan of Angela at all. I still don't really truly, in a whole, and I don't know her. So I'm judging her from watching her on TV because I don't know that lady. All the best. She's a queen. Love that for her. Overall, I didn't like the way she was coming onto the show, but I had to see it in a different light. I had to take my personal preferences out of it. And I think once I got there and I was just like, no, she's actually really great for TV. This is a joke. And she actually makes perfect sense. And I see why they have been trying to get that storyline in Atlanta for years. So kudos to the newbies for actually entertaining us and having real drama.
No, agreed. Cynthia comes out.
Best friend.
Casket sharp with that makeup. Why was that makeup caked on like that? Like, what was going on? Like, did she not have a team? Is she just hiring randos from the internet? What was going on with Cynthia? The wig with the I
was shocked because it made her look older, how it was caked on. And so I was like, wow. But the crazy about it is when we reviewed it, I didn't see that.
Me neither.
I didn't see that. And my God, today, I couldn't believe it.
Today. It was not a good look.
No. It was very Little Richard like.
Yeah. But Basically, Andy asked her about what she felt like being the friend of the show. She says she actually enjoyed it. And then everyone chimes in and says that she basically did really well because she actually didn't really have any beef with anyone. So she was kind of able to like move throughout the show, which this would crack me up. And I wonder, did Shamia feel a little bit of shade when Andy said Cynthia was the glue of the cast? But remember, they were marketing Shamia as the
As
glue
the
of the
glue.
cast. Yeah, I was curious that she pick up on that. But
And she probably and knowing Shamia because she overanalyzes everything, she probably did. But that's to even throw that out there and to pick a fight with Cynthia, you're crazy. At this point, anybody who were to even have something with Cynthia would have been a joke. You would have been the most hated
oh,
forever
well,
because
yeah. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
I mean, no, I'm saying like because let's be real, Cynthia is unbothered. She's living her best life in Amsterdam.
Hello. I will say this. I do not think that she would have like I don't think she would have started with Cynthia about that. I'm just thinking that she would have been, I don't know, like possibly just quite like, just
Well,
felt like a little
Shamia's
shade or whatever.
sensitive. She's sensitive, so I can see her saying something. She's sensitive.
She's so annoying. She's so annoying. But anywho, we then move on to Porsha's segment. They show her package or whatever the case may be, and then Porsha gets emotional, obviously because they had Londi in there. And I really appreciated seeing like Cynthia was like, "Give her a moment. It's okay. Are you okay?" Like that was the whole couch of Phaedra, Porsha, and Cynthia, masterful. It was very clear to see who's been on a reunion stage before. And I'll give you more examples. We'll talk about more examples as we go on. But I will say I did not like Kelly's reaction to that. I don't know if it was like a weird cutaway, but like she just kind of looked like
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 confused as to
like she didn't care. I don't know what it was, but I just didn't like it.
yeah, okay, and that's crazy that you say that because I thought it was me being a little bee. But
Mm-hmm.
I was like, why? And literally in my notes is why does Kelly look so stank?
Yes, especially when the girl's getting emotional about her cousin.
And
Like
just because you didn't,
yeah.
and again, just because you didn't have a connection with Londi has actually been instrumental in honestly Portia's package in a whole in her career as being a housewife. We've known Londi for years, so that was
But
devastating to us.
well, yeah, but you don't even need to know Londi or have a connection to understand how
Well, be
death can
sympathetic.
affect someone. Yeah. So I didn't like that. I didn't like that
I did
at
peep that.
all. But what took me out when they started talking about the whole divorce of it all with Simon, and they started talking about the prenup. And I don't know if you caught when they was like Phaedra, no, Portia was like, well, when you're in love, you really don't want to deal with the paperwork. And Phaedra was
And
like, well, I
Phaedra
ain't
said,
never in that in love. We always do the paperwork. I don't care. I said, I know that's right.
absolutely. Phaedra said, no, that was interesting. That whole little segment was interesting.
Yeah, the
I
whole segment kind of confused me because again, I mean, obviously with us doing this podcast, we keep our ear to the street. We are paying attention to when the girls are tweeting each other and throwing shade. Can you please remind me why Kelly had so much smoke for Porsha?
I,
Please.
when I tell you
really want to know it.
I missed the mark on it. I was trying to go back in my own head and like, well, did they argue on the last like episode? Like, what happened? Because the last episode was Charles and Angela and Crazy Marcus. But
Yes.
this didn't. And then before that, it still wasn't about Porsha and you. It was Britt versus you. So I was like,
Right.
where did Porsha come in at? Who said that?
That's what I'm saying. Because don't get me wrong, like I understand like the whole beef, like about not the whole beef, but I can understand the whole premise of you not wanting your divorce to be compared to Portia's divorce. Because like she said, we were together 11 years.
You was love for
You were
11
together.
months.
Exactly. So we are not the same. I get that.
And you know what? And I didn't like that. You know why?
But no, before you say that, I didn't like it either.
Okay.
But it's true. But then there's another part to this. It didn't need to be said.
Well, so that's number one. Number one, it didn't need to be said. But there's a lot of things. Well, Kelly's introduction to Porsha didn't need to be said. So we can go back to from the beginning when they were introduced to each other. So she has a history of going to this girl and blurting stuff out for no reason because it's things that should never even be brought up in a conversation. So that's strike one. Strike two, the reason why I didn't like it is because not one time did Porsha, Drew was also getting a divorce, but they also came together in a sense of we're going through a divorce. The marriages are ending. That is the main kit in the caboodle. So whether it's
Thank
11
you.
months, 11 days, or 11 hours, it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Because the thing about it is, who's to say that your marriage was any better? Because Portia's 11 months was 11 months of bliss. You've been living 11 years of hell. So you see what I'm saying? So who's to say?
Oh, you ate that up. You ate that up. I agree. I agree with you 100% on that. I agree with you 1000% on that. You ate that up. I agree.
Weird.
Now this was. Now riddle me this. Am I the only girl that I thought Porsha met Simon at that pool with Fallon that season? All of a sudden there's a conversation about when she met him. So was this when we met Fallon and Simon and they came over to the house to swim, did Simon and Porsha already know each other? It was acting like they didn't know each other?
Well,
For the cameras and for Fallon?
Well, you know, if we
Is that what I'm getting?
Well, if you and then I want you when we were editing the video, I would love for you to go back into the scene where said meeting happened allegedly.
I'm gonna put that in there.
This is my husband, Simon, everyone. How are you? You're lit, boom, boom. Yes.
Nice to meet you. Thank you for having us.
The way that they did the little fist bump, do we remember that? The way that they did that
And she
fist
had a
bump
little smirk.
It was very much so. I've definitely had a conversation. I've definitely seen you before, but we never had any proof of that. The only proof we've ever had was right. The only proof, right? Pounds. You ain't never pound nobody's husband. Hey, how you doing? Like, cause that's weird. If
only pound I be saying is Michelle Obama when she do the fist bump. That's the only one I know, Chad.
Hello. So again, you doing the pound already gave it away. It was very weird because you would not do that to anybody else's husband that you're just meeting for the first time. You're insinuating you saw him before. So that was strike one. And then it was weird because Porsha, why did you pause with it when they was asking you? And you knew Andy was going to circle back to that because why did you pause?
Oh, with the whole Shamia thing. I agree. But again, Shamia, not everybody lying on you, girl. Stop it. Why you keep denying these things that you said? Like, what is going on? Shamia just keep lying.
No,
everybody's lying on her.
No, when you have she has ops everywhere.
Everywhere, like everybody's saying she's like, no, you did say that, and then even Drew had to jump in like, well, I did hear that too, and she said, well, you can hear anything, just like you can hear about that baby, but y'all didn't have no issue with bringing that up.
So you see
like,
what I'm saying?
Talking about, my guy?
When Drew came in and ate her up, that actually got me.
Like Drew was like, girl, sit on her lap. Like, what are you talking about? Like that was crazy.
Porsha
I think that was
gagged. Did you see Porsha? Porsha was like, oh my God.
But then Andy asked Kelli, were you being genuine or was you just being messy when you asked about a lady's husband? And then Kelli lies and says she was concerned. And Porsha was like, how can you be concerned?
You weren't.
Yeah, like you were not concerned. You were just being messy.
You didn't even, first of all, you didn't even come in the door as a genuine person. You came in off the bat trying to be messy, trying to figure out what's what.
No, 100%. I think but it felt like Shamia and Kelli had a conversation before this reunion and said, and it was Kelli that went to say, I'm gonna have your back. I'm not gonna let Porsha try to dog walk you. I'm gonna have your back. And it's just not looking good for her. It's just not.
And you know what all this happened?
It's not given.
And you want to know where all this happened? And we already talked about it when they all went to dinner and they was yapping. And they all was doing the Henny sidecars and the lemon drops. And they was yapping because that's how they knew. And because we know Britt's not lying. Because Britt saw the text messages. How would she see text messages? It has to be a person that's close to Britt is not lying about that. So again, y'all had a conversation. The drinks, the cocktails were flowing. Y'all was yapping. And that's what was said because that's where said allegiance came in at. And we'll put a pin in that too. Because again, what allegiance? Because even when you said it, it was never included, Porsha. Y'all wasn't on good terms when y'all was filming. That's why you even. That's why Britt and Kelly were so significant to Shamia's storyline, because y'all wasn't cool to begin with. You did not come in with Porsha. You came in with those two.
Facts. Now I will say we did kind of jump around a little bit in this, but it's fine. Andy asked about the whole comment about Porsha saying that she do better stop before I sleep with Charles. And they basically kind of rehashed that. And that's kind of how the whole thing about Shamia introducing him, that's how all that came up. But just speaking directly about the Porsha Charles whole saga, I appreciated Porsha apologizing again and explaining to her that, basically, I apologize for all that. Like, she just nipped that in the bud. This is one thing I will say about Porsha this year is that she's taking accountability. Like,
She's
I
receiving
said the wrong
information
thing.
too.
I shouldn't have said that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
She's receiving.
Like so Andy then brings up like about her YouTube channel and like how she's able to film in the home and like Dennis being on the YouTube channel and stuff like that. And he basically says, "Oh, what, you trying to have another baby or something like that with him?" And she says, "No, like Dennis is my family. He's really good." And then Kelly, again, all in that man house. And again, Porsha ate her up real nice and nice. But do you have your house? You don't have your house, right? You should have had a better prenup.
Hello?
I was like, Porsha, eat her up. She's talking about, yeah, but I'm happy though. And Porsha says, "You look like it." I said,
meaning you're miserable,
Porsha,
girl. So stop. You're crying
you look
yourself
a
to sleep
mess.
every night. You're crying yourself to sleep every night. So stop.
That's what it gave.
What
it gave.
It gave all I have is my 4 beautiful daughters. Okay, girl. Sure, Jan.
That took me out. Sure, Jan. That took me out. By the way, I got to tell you about what she responded and said.
Interesting.
Yeah, she responded. Oh, yeah. So then Andy cuts to asking Drew about, Portia's return and how Drew said it was a flop. By the way, I actually know that YouTuber that was interviewing Drew.
Nice.
But Porsha says, Andy asks that basically, like, do you stand on it? And then Drew kind of like stands 10 toes down. But then Porsha says, Drew needs to worry about that woman that's in her basement with Ralph. And then Drew says, well, Simon says, you don't have a storyline. I said, come on, Drew.
The way that ping pong, that was a cute little tennis match. I'm not going to lie. Because it was right when I thought that Porsha ate Drew up, Drew came right back and ate Porsha up. I was like, oh, okay. All right. But also, I mean, let's be real. Both of the stories are sad.
No, 100%. Then, they started talking about the text message. Drew's like, oh, of course, now you don't have the text message. Basically, like the little, whatever that text message was, nothing major. Drew says that she would never do anything to affect her business. And then Cynthia kind of interjects and says, well, you got to understand that essentially anytime that you are involving yourself with somebody else's baby's father, especially someone you're on a show with, that's going to cause drama and take away the focus of your music, which I definitely agree with. But that's when Drew jumps in and basically says, well, Porsha knew that I was filming with Dennis. And then that's when Shamia interjects and tells her, no, Porsha didn't know. And before Shamia could even get it out, Drew says, oh, here you go. Go ahead and get on Portia's lap. Like, Drew had time.
And she, honestly, because you know what's crazy? It was giving that Drew knew Shamia was going to have a lot of lip and she was ready. That's all I saw.
After Drew shuts down Shamia starts to rehash the whole gym scene as to why, because, they're basically, at this point, it's like semantics. Yeah. Did you say effing with Dennis or did you say dating Dennis?
Mm-hmm.
And what was really interesting to me about this scene is like, this is where Shamia should just stop talking, because if you pay attention, when you start lying to everybody, it looks like everybody's double teaming you. And I had no issue with that. Everybody was coming to Shamia like, no, that's not what you said. Like, you actually did say that. And even Porsha had to come out and say, no, you did say that. And I even told you I didn't want you to say that because I wanted to keep the focus on filming, not whether or not they were messing with each other.
Right. But see, and here's another thing with lying. This is when you start lying and then you start falling out with the people that you're lying with. They're going to bring it up every time. Well, because now they have notes to compare, because now we don't mess with you. So now we're trying to figure out what else.
Exactly.
Mia Jr.
And then hello. And then Porsha basically says to her, I'm only saying all this because you're kind of making it seem like I'm lying. And then and then Shavia says, well, basically. And I was like,
She's like,
oh, okay. So we're insinuating. Right.
that you're a liar.
I was like, oh,
girl.
so we're insinuating. Yeah. I was like gagged by that.
You're
I was like,
a
okay,
liar.
the girls are about to start fighting. I'm waiting for this. I'm waiting for this showdown.
The gloves are on, buddy.
Hello, listen. So then Andy asks, why Dennis, with all the producers that are in Atlanta, why did you pick Dennis? And I thought this moment was really beautiful because my number one pet peeve is don't be no hater.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be no hater. And the fact that Porsha even said it in this heated moment with Drew, I'm sorry. The girl's album is good. What you want me to do?
Good
like
music,
her
that's
album
what
is
I'm saying.
really good. Yeah, like it was actually really good music. And everybody was like, oh my God. Everybody clapped it up. But then Andy asked her, do you think you owe Drew an apology? I'm not gonna lie. When Porsha got up, I said, not again, Porsha. You just got back. Don't beat nobody up again. Jesus Christ, please don't hit Drew.
Remember
And
when
then
she had
she
to get up
hugged her. And I was
back?
like, I said, that was beautiful.
Well, because Porsha is also 43 years old now. When Porsha got up the last time on the couch, she was in her early 30s.
Exactly. But she says she feels really bad about the situation. She says even in the moment, even though she felt validated in the moment, she didn't feel good about it. And then again, I was on Drew's side when Drew said that. She said, like before she left, like Porsha was my girl. She was the person that if I had a hard time, she was who I came to. And she was like, it was just so weird that she would come back and this would be her energy. And I agree. I mean, that's what we've been saying this whole season. It was just there, it was just very confusing.
Yeah. Well, remember we said that we didn't want the minute we heard about this weird fake throuple situation with Drew, Dennis, and Porsha, we were like, I hope you guys are not trying to make this a thing because this really isn't a thing.
Please not this whole season.
Please.
Please, God, no.
I'd rather see Porsha and Dennis back together.
No, I like Porsha and Dennis together. I
would rather watch that Porsha and Dennis be together and him still possibly producing for Drew because obviously the album was amazing. So in a happy world, that's what would happen. That's what would happen. That's what I would want.
So then we move on to Kelli and Britt, and Andy asks about her friendship with Britt and its demise. Kelli basically says that she wanted to help Britt, but Britt took it too far, insinuating, and it's all up, it's all about this glam. And then Kelli goes on to explain that, prior to the show, she's always had a team, and I'm still confused on why you have a team. Please explain to me why you have a team. I didn't understand why she has a whole team.
She's acting like the young boy whose father owns Zaxby's. Now, when you own a chain of things, you should be walking around with a bodyguard, and not even that, because I'm pretty sure the person who owns Walmart isn't walking around with security. Any of the Walton family, I'm pretty sure, and they got a lot of stores. So you see what I'm saying? So you having a team.
Oh no, they walking around security. You just don't know that security is around.
But that's
you just don't know they security.
But that's just it, though. Do you understand what I'm saying? She's making it known that she's walking with the publicist, the chef, the security. Like, it's just too much, girl. And again, I'm not trying to diminish her business because she is a Black business owner. That's lit. But what I'm saying is,
Candy is worth millions of dollars, and Candy is not walking around with security.
But that's what I'm saying. You, by doing what you're doing, doesn't equate for you to have such a team.
Oh, agree. We're not talking about, because I want to be clear, we're not talking about her security, because we know why she says she needs security. But it's in terms of like her glam and everything that she's doing. It's like, who are you? Like before you even got here,
right? And then
who is Kelli in this world?
And then who is Kelli in this world? And then they said that you had $200,000 worth of back rent, but your dog was at the doggy spot for $100,000. $100K, but your dog was at the dog spot for $100K.
$200K for the $100K for the back rent with the lawsuit, and then $200K for the lawyer fees for the divorce.
So did you really need to do all those extra things?
Oh yeah, she's clearly a very poor money management. If you, in my opinion, I don't think she got it like that to be spending that amount of money like
No.
that. But yeah, Kelli basically says that she wanted to help Britt, but Britt took it too far. I think I already said that part. But then Porsha says that she heard that they all went to dinner and that the whole goal was to take down, that Britt told her that the whole goal was to take her down. I don't know if I believe that, but at the same time, if Shamia is showing Britt text messages, it's kind of like I do believe it. Like I don't know. What do you think?
I'm telling you, that dinner did a lot. And at the time, you have to think about it. Again, when you're not cool with somebody and you're a corny person, what you're gonna do is, if the person gets brought up, now you doing nothing but bringing them down. You spilling nothing but negative stuff. She wasn't talking about how amazing Go Naked Hair was. No, she was kicking that lady back in.
Yeah. Andy brings up the whole side baby thing that Britt said and how Kelli jumped in on it, and he basically asked her, you know, were you, can you still hear me?
Yeah.
She asked her, like, were you like really believing that, or were you just jumping in to basically, you know, ride for Britt? And she basically says, yes, I was just being a friend to Britt, and she apologized to Angela for that. I have no respect for
So
Kelli.
you a following bitch.
I have no respect for people that do stuff like that. Yeah, I have no respect for that. Like I don't like that at all.
Or a
Like,
grown woman. Are you serious? Friends. Please.
Yo, it's crazy. Angela basically accepts the apology and says it makes more sense now that she knows that there was a conversation about an alliance. And then Andy asks, well, how come you didn't include Angela in the newbie alliance? And I was like, that was so shady. But one of the things that we did skip speaking about the alliance, about like the quick little back and forth with Porsha and Shamia discussing it. Because the way Shamia explained it, it sounds like even Andy had asked, was Porsha aware of this alliance that she was in? Because it sounded like, it sounds like Britt, Kelli, and Shamia had that conversation and never said anything to Porsha about it.
Because Shamia
So why is she trying to say Porsha knew about it?
It was the ringleader in that situation. Remember, she was the glue. She was the glue, all right.
Yeah, that was really odd to me. Andy brings up the abortion conversation. And Kelli says that she lied, that Britt lied, that Kelli never told her that, and that she basically, we find out that the stylist is the one that was running her mouth. I kind of feel like they fell out because we saw so many videos of Britt with that girl, with Porsha. And Porsha has been all over social media defending Britt at every turn.
And dragging Kelli that you're not paying. They're saying you don't pay the people.
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
hello.
they're dragging.
But this the other gag though. This the gag. Like my whole thing with that is the thing that stood out to me. She says she has 4 daughters. I can understand like the twins. You not having a conversation with them about abortion or like, you know, stuff like that. But she's talking about, she tried to, again, people that weaponize their children, it really bothers me. I feel like she tried to weaponize their children to make it worse. Like at the end of the day, what do you mean? Like now I got to have a conversation with my daughters about abortions. That should have already been happening. I don't feel comfortable having a conversation.
Yeah.
What do you mean you don't feel comfortable having a conversation with your daughters about abortions? Are you dumb? Do you know what the time we live in now? Like, why would you not have that conversation?
And then this is that weird parenting situation where, listen, you can't teach nobody how to be no mammy and how to parent their birds. But you being a mother of 4, I think in the conversation, you don't need to compare your situation. I don't think you need to tell your children that either. Because remember, I told you in the beginning, I don't really care for the dynamic that her and Chloe have with each other. It's almost as if they're too much of friends versus mother and daughter. But again, I'm not my kids.
Which is odd that you did not have the conversation.
So, and my thing about it is Kelli strikes me as the mother who would be going into detail with her daughter about said abortion, which I think would be inappropriate because you can just have the conversation about abortions in a whole and what that means. You don't necessarily have to direct it to your personal story. I would never tell Leah directly about that situation in my life because that's none of her business. That's my story. That's my situation.
No, but that's Exactly. No one's asking you to say specifically, oh, me and your daddy, da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
But just as far as like sexual health, you don't think it's important to have those kinds of conversations? That was just odd to me.
Right.
But so then Andy basically asks, like, reads her about her finances. Like, that was crazy. They talked about the lawsuit, then how much she paid for her lawyer fees, $200K, and then going in about like how exorbitant her spending is. And then the question that took me out was, does anybody find it odd that she has security? And then Portia's like, no, of course not, for the reason that we know of, but that other reason. And everybody's like, well, wait, what's the other reason?
Yeah.
And then Portia says, that's when we find out, we think it's actually not true, that essentially that her husband threatened her, that she's only doing it for the show. I said,
Dude, this is the thing. It's not that far-fetched. Like, I would hate.
because all the extra stuff that she's doing.
I would hate for that to really be a true storyline and for that girl to have been lying the whole time, because there is a woman out there. There is a person going through domestic violence, someone who's being stalked by their children's father or by a random man who can't afford security and have them, and they don't make it. So I would really, really hope
100%.
that is not true. That is really sick if it's true.
No, 100%. But like I said, I wouldn't be so far-fetched for me, because the exorbitant amount and the dumb things that she's spending money on, I wouldn't be shocked by that. She could possibly feel like that's a flex, but who knows?
Yeah.
Andy asks her if her and Britt will ever be friends again. Kelli says no. And the shade that took me out was like, I did all the things to help her look successful. And then Drew to the right is asking all the questions that Andy should be asking. I said, come on, Drew, put Drew in the seat. Because Drew was asking all of the questions. Well, what do you mean look successful? Right. And so then we move on to Angela's package. Call me crazy. Angela lost her mother before the reunion, correct? How come nobody highlighted that she lost her mother? He went immediately straight into talking about Phaedra. I didn't understand that. We talked about, I guess maybe because she didn't get emotional, how Porsha got emotional. That's why it didn't come up. But I found that really odd. But of course, they immediately jumped straight into talking about the Phaedra thing. Yeah, it's just like it's almost like it didn't happen.
Bravo has a history of showing people who have passed on. We've had parents, we've had spouses, and now cousins pass away. And it was actually quite odd that they did not show the mother passing away. I think that was a little, I didn't think about it until you just said it, but I do think that's a little odd.
Yeah. But of course, they immediately jump into the whole Phaedra of it all. And Angela came out with that folder. It honestly flopped. It flopped really poorly. Like, can we just get rid of the props and like after the binder, no one's done it well. The binder was the best.
Monique
no one can bring anything else out. Yeah, like after that's done, as we all agree on the show, we don't think Phaedra did it. It just seems like it'd be really dumb of Phaedra to do it. And then again, not a great point for Angela to make, talking about, oh, she just wanted to secure her peach. And everybody was like, secure? Phaedra didn't need no securing. I was like, come on, Angela. That was a lot.
This is the second time that Angela has tried to come back at someone and it didn't land. She's not consistent with her landing.
No facts. But she did make a great point towards at the end where she said, now, Porsha, you confusing me, because after everything you've been through with this woman, you just over here making it seem like it's just impossible for her to have done what I'm accusing her of. I said, eat her up.
Now that did shock me, because Porsha couldn't say nothing. Literally.
No, 100%.
Oof. Nasty.
And that essentially concludes the first part of this 3-part reunion. I'm very curious to see where it goes from here. But until then, now it's time for our favorite part of the show, and that is...
Everybody just calm down.
Girl, just calm down. For me, this episode, I'm going to have to say it's going to be Kelli. I'm seeing a lot about Kelli. Like, it's almost like when we first disliked Kelli, like when she first came on the screen, remember how we was just like, oh, she's doing a lot? It came back even more this episode. So I'm good on Kelli this episode. She's who needs to calm down for me.
Yeah. Honestly, it's gonna be 2 for 2 for me. Honestly, it's gonna be Kelli. She has to calm down. Honestly, Kelli and the Crystal, because again, we already know that Crystal didn't work in Grenada, and it's not gonna work at a reunion. Kelli, you gotta calm down. And like you just said, really just to piggyback off of what you said, you rubbed us wrong in the beginning, and then it just kind of got icky as it went on. And we tried to give you a chance in those couple of times where you were kind of being transparent, but then honestly, you had more ick than fun. So, girl, I'm just need you to calm down. Sorry about it.
Agreed. All right, guys. Well, I hope that you enjoyed this lovely episode. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And again, peace.
Bye, guys.